Going back to the Candor flow, we're going to hit all this today with the case that we talked about that we'll jump into. You hear about the event. How do you activate? How do you first process map the whole thing? How are you going to do that? And then so when you have an event, how do you process it? How do you activate it? How do you make sure there's effective communication early and often and ongoing with the patient and family? The caregivers, the care for the caregiver, as you all mentioned. And then as you just mentioned, how do you learn from this? And as you learn more, share more. As you learn more, share more. And then ultimately come to a decision about how are you now going to approach the family with some of the things we talked about, which is the obligation to ensure we're making them as whole as possible on the financial side, realizing as I've learned from Carol and so many other people, when these bad things happen, there's often no ultimate resolution for the family because it's really impactful and goes on. But we have an obligation to make sure we do what we do to try to make them whole, both financially and non-financially in the resolution part, and that's what we'll talk about today. So we're putting it all together. You're going to see the event. We're going to take it from the beginning all the way through to the end. This is a real case that happened again at the University of Illinois that we're going to be able to share with you a lot of the nuts and bolts in doing that piece of it. And this is the paradigm shift that we've talked about at all the workshops. And in every one of these are going to apply today. So when you see this event, think in your organization, how would you want it to be reported right away so that people could respond? The communication piece, again, with the family right away, ongoing, providing a really human factors process redesign event review. We're really going to talk about that today. We left out of your little handout there that gets into this fire in the OR case. And there are so many things we hope you'll learn in the process of the event review. The care for the caregiver, you're going to have an opportunity to provide peer support to the surgeon who was involved in a horrible fire in the operating room when they played a big role with that. And then ultimately the resolution part. How do we think about, particularly in a case like this that has so many ongoing expenses and procedures related to it, how do we manage that?